So let's just settle into a comfortable seated posture. And it's got Coral's cats there as well tonight. Welcome. Oh, and another message. Oh, that's it. All right, sorry everyone. I get a bit distracted with all the messages. Well, I want to answer them all. All right. So just settle in and check in with yourself briefly. Feet on the floor if you're not cross-legged. Feel the weight of your sits bones in the chair, the hands in the lap. Shoulders are aligned with your hips. And your ears aligned with your shoulders. And imagine your spine is this beautiful string of pearls of light stretching from the base all the way up through the crown of the head and beyond. And imagine you're lengthening your spine, putting some space there in between the vertebrae. And then just go to the crown of the head and relax your scalp and forehead, your face. Just release any tension in the face, the shoulders, the neck. Just allow your body and your chest and your belly, your arms and legs, everything just to relax. And then just tune in to the sensations of the breath as you inhale and exhale. Be aware of any external stimuli that might be distracting you, such as sound. Just allowing it to be there. And then notice what's arising in the mind this evening. Where are you at tonight, this morning, this midday? And just be a little curious about what's there and try not to get all caught up in all the emotion and the feelings. I know sometimes when the mind runs away, particularly in the middle of the night, it's just hard to reel it back in. And sometimes it's kind of easier to sort of start reeling it back in before all of that somehow started. Bring to mind some people of your life, your loved ones, your strangers, your ones you don't like even, and just keeping in mind that these relationships are impermanent and they can change, chop and change at any time, backwards, forwards. Change our minds due to karma, due to impermanence. And then think, regardless, they're all equal. That person you loved at one point now don't like so much. They're still the same person. You just see them differently. They're still the same person in that they want to be happy and they don't want to suffer. And they still have that same potential for enlightenment that you thought they had when you loved them. And then when you don't love them, all that kind of is like, no way, they're just a horrible person. You don't see the potential in the same way. So I think we'll do this meditation this evening for first of all the people mentioned in the chat. And then also, everybody has somebody they know that could do with a bit of support, a bit of spiritual support, a bit of beautiful energies coming their direction. for all sentient beings and for ourselves as we're moving along our spiritual path. So think, there is no negativity that can't be purified. And this purification process is basically a psychological one. And we create negativity with our mind, so equally we can change it by creating positivity instead. And we start with this power of regret. So sincerely regret from the depths of my heart, your heart, anything you have done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all of our past lives. And think of specific actions of both your body and your speech, and then in general, regret all. And the reason to regret is based on this logic of karma, and we experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions. So having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in the future. And we cannot bear the thought of any future suffering that we will experience. And we know from our present suffering, we don't want any more. So logically, it makes sense to remove the karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So we think like this: I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows, because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering. And also regret any anger, attachment, and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others. And then think again, I'm sick of this suffering. And then think, well, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we come to this power of reliance. So we rely upon Buddha Vajrasattva, who we see as a doctor, and who has these methods that we can use to purify. And we're not asking Buddha or some higher power to forgive us and come away and take all our pain, etc. We're purifying ourselves by relying upon his medicine. So see this practice as healing, rather than, oh, I've done something wrong, I need to fix myself. It's not like that. You're kind of healing, you're healing yourself so you can be a benefit to others, so you don't have to have obstacles on the path, such as, car accidents, which can be purified. All these little seeds that ripen that create obstacles and sort of block us moving forward. So imagine Vajrasattva above the crown of your head. You can also imagine this is the mind of your teacher manifesting in this form for your benefit. He's made of this radiant, blissful white light, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion. He has a beautiful, radiant face. His eyes are long and peaceful and full of love and compassion for you and all those people of your life. He has a sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom, and the right is holding a vajra, and this represents the indestructibility of compassion. And their being crossed like that indicates or represents enlightenment itself. Infinite wisdom, infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. And so a little section here on compassion. In order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings, the very beings we have harmed and those who have harmed us, by developing compassion for them. So think particularly of people you've harmed recently and in the past, and then in general, all beings we have ever harmed since beginningless time. And then think about those who have harmed you, particularly because they're going to suffer as a result of the harm they've done to you. So make this strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for the sake of all these beings, and think, I must purify for their sake. And now we come to the power of remedy, and this is the medicine doing the practice of purification. And we start with the body, and Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose, quite forcefully from his heart, and it arcs around and enters your crown and just forces out of all of your lower orifices all the harm you've ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left as we recite the mantra. Vajrasapa Samayam Nupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Petita Jida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mempiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samayam Nupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Petita Jida meboa, situkaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anarakta meboa, sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kamasita me, sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan, sawa tatagata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe, vajrasapa samaya manupalaya, vajrasapa dina patita, jida meboa, situkaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kamasita me. Sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan. Sawa tatagata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe. Vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita. Jida meboa, situkaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anarakta meboa, sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kamasita me. Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Drita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and think there's no way you could do anything but benefit others now with your body. Next is the purification of our speech. And Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and it arcs around and quite forcefully enters your crown and fills your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech, and this overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So imagine all the gossip and the harsh speech, any kind of useless rabbiting on speech, complaining, lying, talking about people behind their backs, getting other people to join in. All of this is purified by the powerful nectar filling you as we recite the mantra again. Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Jida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Jida meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anarakta meboa, sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kamasita me, sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan, sawa tatagata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe. Vajrasapa samaya manupalaya, vajrasapa dina patita, Jida meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, Anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kamasita me. Sitam shriyam guru hum ha ho bhagawan. Sawa tatagata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe. Vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita. Jida meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, Anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kamasita me. Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra Ahum Pe Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Drita Mebowa Situkaya Mebowa Sipokaya Mebowa Anurakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra Ahum Pe Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Drita Mebowa Situkaya Mebowa Sipokaya Mebowa Anurakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra Ahum Pe Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Drita Mebowa Situkaya Mebowa Sipokaya Mebowa Anurakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra Ahum Pe. So this time feel so happy that your speech is now completely purified, and imagine it's not possible to do anything other than benefit others now with your speech, even yourself. And now we come to the purification of our mind, and Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So you imagine you walk into a pitch black room and you flick on the switch, and the light that comes instantly dispels the darkness. So the same happens here. The moment the light from Vajrasattva's heart hits your heart chakra, all the darkness of the negativity of your mind, all your attachments and neediness, bitterness, grudges, depression, resentment, jealousy, all of this instantly dispelled, not one atom left as we recite the mantra again. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Mebowa Situkaya Mebowa Sipokaya Mebowa Anurakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Mebowa, Situkaya Mebowa, Sipokaya Mebowa, Anurakta Mebowa, Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me, Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Mebowa, Situkaya Mebowa, Sipokaya Mebowa, Anurakta Mebowa, Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me, Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Mebowa, Situkaya Mebowa, Sipokaya Mebowa, Anurakta Mebowa, Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me, Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Mebowa, Situkaya Mebowa, Sipokaya Mebowa, Anurakta Mebowa, Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me, Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Mebowa, Situkaya Mebowa, Sipokaya Mebowa, Anurakta Mebowa, Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me, Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Mebowa, Situkaya Mebowa, Sipokaya Mebowa, Anurakta Mebowa, Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me, Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra Ahum Pe. So again, be delighted all your delusions, which are the source of all of our own suffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech are completely purified, and think that there's no space in your heart now for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. And next is the purification of even the imprints of negativity of the body, speech, and mind. And this time imagine that Vajrasattva sends light and nectar. It fills you completely and eradicates even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from the mind. So you imagine the nectar flows down, pushing out all the negativities of the body. Then the nectar flows up, pushing out all the negativities of the speech. And then delusions blasted by this light. So imagine this is happening simultaneously, and it eradicates even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from your mind. Om Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawakama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa, Sitokaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anorakta Meboa, Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me, Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum, Ha 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 Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra Ahum Pe, Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Jida Meboa, Sitokaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anorakta Meboa, Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me, Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum, Ha 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 Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra Ahum Pe, Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Drita Meboa, Sitokaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anorakta Meboa, Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me, Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum, Ha 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 Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra Ahum Pe, Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Drita Meboa, Sitokaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anorakta Meboa, Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me, Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum, Ha 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 Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra Ahum Pe, Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Drita Meboa, Sitokaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anorakta Meboa, Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me, Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum, Ha 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 Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra Ahum Pe, Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Drita Meboa, Situkaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anorakta Meboa, Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me, Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum, Ha 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 Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra Ahum Pe. Now feel you are completely purified. There's not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to your enlightenment have been removed. And then now we come to the power of resolve. So here we just need to decide that you don't want to harm, that you want to refrain from harming. And then, just rejoice in your efforts for coming along and doing this practice. Like I keep saying, for some of you, it's really late. So that's fantastic that you even bother. And then think something you'd like to work on between now and tomorrow. Keep it simple. And slowly, you can just keep slowly, gradually moving forward. So imagine Vajrasattva is delighted with us, wants to merge with your mind and melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown. And think, my teacher's body, speech, and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind are the same. So next, Rinpoche would recommend to meditate on emptiness In emptiness, there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma. And there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level your mind understands emptiness, place it there for a little while. We can think of all phenomena as being empty. They do not exist from their own side. And you know how you view things, how you hear things, how you see things might not be the way they actually exist. It could be completely wrong. You know, we often misinterpret things. So it's a good place to start, recognizing when we do that. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy you've created doing this practice to all living beings, and think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. So let's just do our chanting the names of Manjushri, which were respectfully recited in Illusion's net, the Tantra most supreme, by multitudes of mighty Vajrapanis, the joyous guardians of secret mantras. Just this I shall uphold with firm resolve until I reach my final liberation, so that I may become a great protector, the bearer of the Buddha's every secret. And this I shall reveal to living beings according to each one's capacity, in order that afflictions may be quelled, so ignorance may fully be dispelled. Okay, everyone, let's have a strong wish for His Holiness the Dalai Lama to live long, for the swift discovery of our precious Lama Zopa Rinpoche's unmistaken reincarnation, and then to all of your own individual precious teachers. Okay, everybody, lots of love. Do take care. Thank you, Shayla, for hosting. Are you home yet? No? Okay, it's going to take a while. All righty. Okay. Thank you for hosting through all of that. Lots of love. Okay, thank you. Bye, everybody. Good night.
Good night.